Hello, welcome to your learning spot. This is the second part of our series that is Teachers' Attitude and Aptitude. In this video, we'll talk about communication. Before understanding the meaning of communication, let us see how the word is originated. The word is originated from a Latin word called communis. The word communis is really important as it may have been asked many times in the previous year question papers. The word communis means common. The word communication means common. Now let us see the meaning. The term communication gave us understand that it is an act wherein a concept, fact, idea, principle or theory is passed from one individual to another or a group. Let us understand the meaning clearly. The word communication means wherein two persons or one person to a group or many shares a common concept, common fact, common idea, principle, theory is passed from one person to another person or one person to group of person. That is called communication. Now let us see the definition of communication. Communication is a process of give and take of information, wherein we can understand in simple words we can say passing of information from one person to another, which is a common information. Now let us see the communication in more in detail. Communication generally means the following: passing of information, exchange of an idea or sharing of an idea. Communication generally takes place when we want to pass an information or we want to exchange any idea or we want to share any idea. Now let us see the types of communication. First is face-to-face communication. The communication takes place between one person to another person, wherein one person speaks and other person listens. The communication is a face-to-face interaction wherein one person listens and other person speak. In this, we can let us understand as a classroom communication, as we are learning teachers' aptitude. So, a teacher is a person who speaks and the student is the one who listens. In this face-to-face communication, it can take place between one person to another person, and it can also take a place between one person to a group of students, a group of people wherein, let us see, a teacher is a single person who speaks and a group of students who listens to teacher. This is a face-to-face communication. The most advantage of this types of communication is that they have a clear understanding. This is very effective as a listener can ask question, get his doubt clarified and get satisfaction. If any student from a group has any queries or questions or any doubt, that can be clarified easily. Okay, now moving on to the second type of communication, that is reading and writing communication. This types of communication takes place when reading a book, newspaper, magazines and many more, etc. In this, the reader enjoys the reading material. The reading material is wrought by the author. In this types of communication, there is a disadvantage as they do not get unclarified the doubts easily. If there is any doubt or did not understand, it cannot be cleared immediately. Now this third type of is visualizing and observing. This types of communication takes place in TV programs, films, dramas. In this group of persons can absorb the act happening in front of them and can easily understand the communication process. Now let us see the components of communication, that is sender, message, medium, receiver. Sender is the person who sends the message. Sender encodes the message. Message is could be any information or the message that they want to pass. It could be a message, information, idea, any concept they want to pass through a medium. Medium could be a verbal medium or non-verbal medium. To the receiver. The receiver is the person whom the person wants to convey the information. The receiver receives the message from the sender, decodes it and understand. Now let us understand a classroom communication. The process of communication in a classroom. Let us assume that a sender is a teacher who sends the message, that is the concept or the knowledge the teacher wants to pass to the receiver. Receiver in this case in classroom communication is students through a medium. The medium could be verbal, non-verbal to the student. So teacher encodes the message through any medium, that could be verbal or non-verbal, to the students. Now the types of classroom communication can be verbal communication and non-verbal communication, written communication. Verbal communication is a communication. Verbal communication is sending of a information or message through a sound, language or anything. Non-verbal communication is facial gestures, signs. Written communication is writing something and while communicating. Let us understand how it could be a classroom communication. When a teacher talks or explains a concept while talking, while explaining, she uses verbal communication. Non-verbal communication is the signs or symbols or any gesture teacher uses while explaining. For example, after the concept teacher explained and the teacher asked for the reaction from the student, did you understood? The students would nod their head. So that is non-verbal communication. Written communication is when teacher writes something on the board. So that is a written communication. Now let us see the effective communications in classroom communication. Okay, now let us understand the effective communications in the classroom. Two-way communication. The communication in the process in the classroom is a two-way process in which it provides a feedback from the learner. The two-way process facilitates the further clarification on the topic taught and provides a scope for seeking further information whenever needed. Two-way communication is really important in the class for the classroom communication. Effective feedback. The feedback helps to understand that the feedback helps to ascertain the realization and non-realization of an objective. The feedback can be verbal as well as non-verbal. The verbal mode, the student can respond orally and seek for clarification. In non-verbal mode, the students can express their non-comprehensive in the form of shaking of head or nod their head with a satisfied or unsatisfied expression on the face that shows whether the communication has been effective or not. Third is clarity in expression. Clarity in expression plays an important role in communication in the classroom. Clarity can be achieved only when the teacher is a good command over the language. Since the language is the effective tool of communication, the teacher has to take extra to see that the language adopted suits the level of a age group with a reference of vocabulary use, the speed of delivery or the tone of the delivery, appropriate loudness, so that the comprehensive can be achieved with the learners. Clarity of expression is something where teacher needs to be careful, since she is teaching a small age group like pre-primary group of students. Then she should understand that the the vocabulary being used should be simple, the tone of language she is using, she should understand the age group. If wherein a teacher is teaching to secondary school or higher secondary school, she should use high vocabulary, the tone of language and the delivery of speed. Motivation to the students. Since the uh, students are the learner, are the main stakeholders in the classroom, it is essential that communication made in such a way that the students should be motivated through the lessons they have been obtained. Use of teaching aids. In order to motivate the students, teachers should make use of teaching aids that draws attention of students and get interested to know more, which enables the teachers to communicate effectively and the topic is clearly understood as well as retained by the learners. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.